So we're going to talk about the Conservative leadership election in this video. That's something you're hopefully pretty familiar with by now, as we've made 5 videos during the process and 2 videos about the finalists' positions on Brexit. If you want to catch up on any of that, there's a link to the playlist in the description. Also, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you're notified when we post more videos. Currently, only 12% of our subscribers have hit the bell, so make sure you have right now. Anyway, shameless plugs aside, the Tory leadership race is in full swing by this point. The field has narrowed down from 10 to 2 through a series of votes in the House of Commons. Members of Parliament got their chance to knock out the least popular candidates until we're left with the last 2. Those are Jeremy Hunt and Boris Johnson. It's worth reminding everyone here that because the Conservative Party are in government at the moment, whoever is elected as their leader will automatically become the Prime Minister. Which means one of these 2 men will be the UK's next Prime Minister before the end of the month. So far, the only people who've had a say in this are the 313 Conservative Party members in Parliament. They're the ones who got the opportunity to narrow this down. So surely it's the people of the UK, the general electorate, who take over at this point. Surely they're the people who finally get to select who the next Prime Minister is. Well, as you probably can gauge from my tone, that's not the case. Out of 66 million people in the UK, the majority don't get to vote for the new Prime Minister. In fact, not even 1% of the UK population gets to vote. In reality, it's only around 160,000 people, which means only about 0.25% of the UK population gets a say in the matter. Sounds kind of crazy, right? Well, there is some logic to this. Remember, the vote is to decide who the new leader of the Conservative Party is. A person who just so happens to be the Prime Minister too. Therefore, it's only paying members of the Conservative Party who can elect their new leader. To some extent, that makes sense. We can argue all day whether it's fair, but there is some logic there. Also, the way I said only paying members makes it sound a little more dodgy than it really is. It isn't just the rich elite who are voting or something. Tory party membership only costs £25 a year, and there's discounts for under 23s and members of the armed forces. It's not just the rich who get to vote, it's the Conservative Party's most avid fans. And if you're thinking, well, I've got £25 knocking about, can I have a vote? Well, I have some bad news for you, my friend. To prevent a whole load of opposition party members from joining and sabotaging the vote, you have to be a member at least 3 months before the election is actually called to take part in the vote. So to answer the question set up in the title of this video, no, you cannot vote for the new Prime Minister. That is unless you just so happen to be a member of the Conservative Party, which, looking at our analytics, is statistically very unlikely. This whole members choosing their own Prime Minister thing isn't a rare phenomenon either. When Theresa May took over from David Cameron in 2016, she did so without the public voting at all. Even the Conservative Party membership never got to vote, because her opposition in the final round dropped out before the final vote actually happened. It's not just the Conservatives either. Back in 2007, Labour leader and then Prime Minister Tony Blair handed over power to Gordon Brown. So it works both ways, both major parties handing over power to leaders who weren't elected by the people of the UK. And there's technically absolutely nothing wrong with this. The way that elections work in the UK means that you're not actually voting for the party leader, you're voting for your local representative. Which means the leader changing is totally fine, as it's not them you elected. As long as your local representative is staying the same, it's all good. That doesn't mean people like it though, with one commentator calling Labour out for it in 2007, saying, "It's the arrogance, it's the contempt, that's what gets me." It's Gordon Brown's apparent belief that he can just trample on the democratic will of the British people. It's at moments like this I think the political world has gone mad, and I'm alone in detecting the gigantic fraud. Then going on to say, the extraordinary thing is it looks like he'll now be in 10 Downing Street for 3 years, and without a mandate from the British people. No one elected Gordon Brown as Prime Minister. Who said these things? Well, it was only Boris Johnson, one of the people looking to do the exact same thing now. Sorry, I didn't mean to throw Johnson under the bus there. It just really highlights how both sides do it, and people only tend to like controversial moves like this when it suits their side. So, what do you think about it? Do you think this is a fair system to use? Do you think that Brits should be able to choose who their Prime Minister is? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. While you're at it, make sure to subscribe to our channel to be notified as the leadership race continues. Also remember to hit the bell icon to get those notifications. You can also find us across other social networks simply by searching for TLDR News.